Greetings, Summoners, and welcome to the Crystal Scar. Today I'm going to be giving you some basics on Dominion, as well as some higher level strats that all the top level tournament players use. By educating yourself on the basics, you can have a better understanding of how the map works, and how you can better yourself to compete against some of the top players in solo queue. Once you feel you've got what it takes, you can even sign up to compete in Dominate Dominion, a weekly Dominion tournament where the best of the best come to prove themselves on the Scar. The current meta in Dominion is 4 champions top lane with 1 bot lane. This is because the highest capture point, or windmill as it's called, is a very difficult point to obtain, and you will want most of your forces to take that. Most of the time, you will be building your team comp around the 4 champions you have up top. This could include any combination of bruisers, marksmen, assassins, mages, and supports. Since most of the champion roster is viable on Dominion, you can use an incredible number of different team comps to great effect. Also, every champion has increased gold gain. It is very rare for someone to not complete a game without getting 4 to 5 items finished. So yes, even you support mains get to build all those awesome items, just like everyone else. If you're curious about what champions are viable, check the description below, or click on the annotation to look at the Dominion tier list written by Sauron, the highest ranking Dominion player. For summoner spells in Dominion, you will always want to bring Revive. There is only one downside to Revive, and that's the cooldown. Other than that, Revive gives you a massive speed boost when used, and because Dominion is so small, it helps you get out of the speed shrine and back into the fight faster. It has the ability to cancel your 20-second death timer in order to come back and make plays. And the added health boost given by the Revive mastery is incredibly strong. Overall, the one con of Revive is far outweighed by its benefits. For other summoner spells, Exhaust and Garrison are always great for your second slot. Exhaust is hands down the best dueling spell, and since Dominion has so many skirmishes, a well-timed Exhaust can easily win you a lot of fights. Garrison is great for sieging or defending towers, and is useful to always have at least one on your team. Clairvoyance can also be used to great effect in high-level coordinated play. You will see a lot of top teams take this in tournaments. Now for items on Dominion. You will learn that penetration is your best friend. If you are playing someone who uses attack damage, most of the time you will be building Ghostblade or Black Cleaver, as well as Last Whisper, very early into the game. This is because you want to get as close as possible to true damage, and by building Last Whisper really early, it ensures you won't fall off as the game goes on. Same goes for mages. You'll want to get your Sork Boots as well as a Void Staff fairly early into the game. It is also very important to note that Dominion does not have a blue buff. With how often you will be fighting, it is very important to build a lot of CDR on everyone. Most games at tournament level, everyone in the game will end with 30% or more CDR in their builds. So if you're playing a champion to deal damage, just remember, CDR and pen are your best friend. For you tank players, you will still want to build tanky, but don't be afraid to grab some damage as well. A Void Staff on Leona sounds silly if you're coming from Summoner's Rift, but it actually gives her quite a nice damage spike and makes her even more threatening. For support players, you have the option to build AP or support. Many supports have the ability to duel standard mid laners very easily if given the gold. And thanks to Dominion's ambient gold gain, many supports are actually great damage dealers in fights. A big complaint we get from a lot of new Dominion players is they are very unsure of what to do on the map. Another problem we see is people get too dead set on trying to capture Windmill, even if it's a losing fight. So here are a few advanced tricks to help you out in a situation where you ask yourself, what do I do now? If the enemy team has Windmill, and they're all just sitting up there, don't try to fight them. Would you tower dive a 4v4 in Summoner's Rift? Probably not. So instead of trying to run your face into Windmill, run through the jungle with your team and force the enemy to come to you. If you start going to the enemy's mid or bot lane, for example, they will be forced to react to you and have to leave Windmill unguarded. If you can then win the team fight, you will be able to reclaim Windmill. Now on the flip side, don't be the person who sits AFK on top point and thinks you're defending it for your team. If you cannot see the enemy team but you are sitting alone on the Windmill, you are letting them know that it's okay to go gank or pressure somewhere else because you won't be able to make it in time to help your team. It is always very important to try to maintain jungle control. Grouping up in the jungle and forcing fights even when you have Windmill is a very good habit to get into. So in short, stay out of vision and stick to the fog of war as much as possible. Jungle control is very, very important, but face checking is very, very bad. So to prevent this, there are two very strong items on Dominion that you can use. Krez's Spectral Lantern and Hextech Sweeper are both great items to build on everyone, and will prevent a lot of silly face checking that could cost you a capture point. And finally, it may seem great to push minions in lane, but it's a trap. If the enemy minion wave is growing big and may neutralize your point, then you'll want to take care of it. Otherwise, don't bother running out to farm minions in top lane. It is very easy to get caught out and die because the enemy can come from the jungle with Speed Shrine, and then they will be able to fight your team 4v3 after they've taken you down. Now for some advanced tricks. Tab is your best friend. Holding down tab after you've killed an enemy will allow you to watch their respawn timers. This is crucial in Dominion because of revive. When someone suddenly goes from being dead for 24 seconds to alive, you need to make sure that you're not overcommitting to a fight, because that person is about to arrive fully healed and with an extra health boost. Many games are lost from teams overcommitting and not watching their respawn timers. Speed Shrines, as mentioned earlier, are a free summoner spell Ghost. There's 3 of them around the map, and you should always try to keep the speed boost up as much as possible. Many objectives can be reached very quickly thanks to the Speed Shrine. If you ever need to go back to base and are near a Speed Shrine, be sure to stand on it while going B. This will allow you to keep the speed boost when you go back and will help you get out of base faster. Some quick info on the Storm Relic in the center of the map. It will give you a replenishing shield as well as shoot lightning at anything you attack, dealing some damage. It is a very strong buff, but be sure to have someone protect you when you try and grab it. You can also have someone begin channeling it for you and then finish the capture of it yourself. Remember, carrying solo in Dominion is incredibly difficult. Because of the map's ambient XP and gold gain, more often than not, everyone on the enemy team and your team will not be too far behind if you start raking in gold from kills and captures. This is why teamwork is very important on Dominion, and working together with your team will always have good results. There are no solo queue heroes here, and every win is reliant on team effort, so remember to positively reinforce your team if things start to go downhill. Try to be constructive with your criticism and not aggressive, because even if you're in a losing situation, a strong comeback is always possible. That's it for this episode. Be sure to check out the Dominate Dominion chat channel in the League of Legends client. Stop by the Dominion forums if you ever need advice, and try to put together a team to test your skill against the best of the best in Dominate Dominion's weekly tournament. Or be sure to check out my stream at twitch.tv/SirFancyWolf, where I'm constantly streaming high-elo Dominion games, answering questions, or doing in-houses that viewers can get in on.